Hello and welcome to another Scoliosis Research Society podcast. I'm the host, Jeff Mullin. Today we are honored to join the current SRS President, Dr. Yazici, who's going to be talking to us about his tenure and a little about himself. So, Dr. Yazici, maybe you can start off telling a little about your background and how you got to where you are today.
Thank you, Jeff, having me in this podcast. It's a very great honor for me. I'd like to say something about myself, how I got to where I am today. I was born in a medium-sized Turkish city on the Black Sea coast in 1965. I came to Ankara as the capital of Turkey as a medical school education, and I finished my orthopedic residency at Hacettepe University in Ankara. After residency, I worked as a short-term attending at two different universities in different places. And late Mark Asher was my mentor during my one-year research fellowship at Kansas University of Medical Center. After finishing the fellowship, I returned to Turkey. I began my academic career as an assistant professor in Hacettepe. I did my residency there and I worked for more than 20 years. In 2003, I was promoted to full professor position. In 2.5 years ago, I decided to leave university my own decision. It was a very difficult decision, but unfortunately, I made. In Ankara, I founded and directed a private pediatric orthopedics and spine center, which I continue to work in. In Turkey, I held different positions of leadership in different professional organizations, but most importantly, prior to joining SRS, I worked at European Pediatric Orthopedic Society, EPOS, actively as a chair of reading committee, member of the board of directors, and I served EPOS as president in 2012. Since 2006, I've been a member of European Orthopedic Board in the writing committee and also participate as examiner. I'm the only Turkish member of IPOD, namely International Pediatric Orthopedic Think Tank. Since the establishment of GSSG, Growing Spine Study Group, I assumed active responsibility there and became a board member. After merging two foundation, two study group, I'm still currently serve on the board of Pediatric Spine Foundation. This is the brief summary of my academic career.
It's quite an impressive list of accomplishments you've got there. Maybe tell us a little bit more about how you got involved with the Scoliosis Research Society.
SRS, it's honestly my favorite society since the first day I met SRS. SRS is an acronym I'm sure I've heard before, but throughout my year in Kansas, I came to understand the meaning of SRS because Mark Asher, my mentor, I said, who recently passed away, was a passionate fan of SRS. I can't recall a day when the SRS wasn't mentioned. They kept all the abstract books in as a safe place in office. In my free time during my fellowship, I recall reading the most of the old abstracts. When the day my fellowship finished, one of my fellowship studies was accepted to the podium. I was thrilled. In 1995, I met the first SRS podium in Asheville. In 96, I was accepted as a corresponding member of the family. At that time, OUS member was being only corresponding member. Active membership doors was closed. Beginning the early 2000s, I gradually began to climb the stairwell, and a traveling fellow in 2002. I believe we were in the second group of international traveling fellows. I had the opportunity to visit 9 significant United States cities. This program has made a significant impact to my career in terms of networking. I met many important names during this tour, and I'm still keeping a close relation with most of them. During those years, SRS was sending some of its young selected members to leadership development program at Kellogg Institute in Chicago. I was one of the fortunate members who had the opportunity to take this course. And then committee work began. I joined the Growing Spine Committee. Growing Spine was my first committee. I worked with a member, and then I chaired this committee. And the same years, SRS made a big decision, expanded its globalization efforts. And this is, if I remember correctly, is the mid-20s, the first strategic planning meeting were held in Seattle, and then 2 other strategic planning meetings were organized in different places. I was invited to represent all US members in the first 3 of these meetings. To begin, corresponding membership were converted to active membership, and the OUS members were given the opportunity to serve in the leadership roles. On the board, OUS members began to be represented. I was one of the first OUS member of BOD. I served the program committee for 3 different occasions, and I was the first OUS chair of this committee. I was later elected to PL, and now the president. Please accept my apologies for making the story a little too long, but I believe it was important to underline that this journey took almost 25 years and reached by taking necessary steps and spending necessary time to each. Last but not least, I would like to bring up an extremely significant point to your attention. In the last 25 years, 25 of my works have been accepted for the podium, and 5 of them are selected as the HIPS Award session. Unfortunately, I didn't get this award yet, but I'm still optimistic for the future.
I'm sure you're going to keep working, trying to achieve more, and hopefully someday you'll get that HIPS award you're trying to get. But aside from those things you said already, what are the other big takeaways you've had from your time as president?
Yeah, thank you. I'm the second all-US president of this society. Ken Chang was the first, just really pioneer in this field. But as the all-US president of one of the real global society of the world, I was aware that I had a different mission. And my main motivation during my presidency was to open SRS's doors to anyone who is ready to contribute and become a member of this family. Bolstering the position of spinal surgeons with a background in neurosurgery, because still we don't have too much neurosurgical friends in our society. Only few of them has reached the leadership position. I didn't believe we have any barrier for neurosurgeons, but this is the reality. One of the project I implemented, SRS AANS, the task force, just for search the reason of this misrepresentation in SRS. Anyway, and increasing the visibility of our younger members to allow them to climb the steps to the leadership faster, and remove any existing barriers by opening to discussion all facets of diversity, including diversity. There's many aspects, including religion, race, geography, and sexual orientation. Allow OUS members to have more active roles within the organization, conveying up-to-date information to every corner of the world in the most democratic way possible, where all necessities of the mission. I'm really happy that AANS, SRS, diversity, equity, inclusion, early career surgeon, and blended learning task forces have made great strides toward these goals. Today, more than half of our committee and task forces are led by OUS members. I will forever be proud to have pioneered this development. This was happened before me, but I believe I just very small made a very small contribution for this effort, I believe.
So as one of those young neurosurgeons trying to get involved in SRS, I appreciate those efforts. However, during your presentation, is there anything you didn't achieve that you're hoping to achieve or continue working on now that your tenure is over?
Yeah. SRS's first initiatives on the blended learning started under the leadership of Peter Newton 2 years ago. And then during the Paul Sponseller's leadership, and the blended learning task force is built. In this context, the new e-learning program was launched, and early onset scoliosis was chosen as the first module. I'm honored to have led this module. The first module, EOS, which we completed with an excellent teamwork, was made available to our members a while ago. It's available on our webpage, Learning Management System. I have to say with the great pleasure that the resulting product has been a source of great pride, not only for me and my teammates, but also for SRS. The team led by Lawrence Haber is working hard on Module 2 with the team of spondylolisthesis, and we expect it to be completed by the end of the year, maybe earlier. Our experience project as a plan will cover all core curriculum domains step by step. I believe this project is crucial to educational mission of SRS. In the period after my presidency, I plan to take an active role not only in the iExperience project, but also in all blended learning activities. Again, I think that the diversity, equity, inclusion, and SRS AANS task forces implemented under my leadership are very important projects for SRS. I'm very willing to determined to do my best to minimize all diversity problems and to make members from neurosurgery background more visible and active in SRS. Finally, I wholeheartedly believe that besides annual meeting and IMAS, SRS should organize an annual deformity, both adult and pediatric, update course. This is the dream. I have made great efforts to bring this project to life recently by gathering 2 well-established deformity courses, International Spine Deformity Symposium by Larry Lanke, Chris Jeffrey, and Cutting Edge on Spine Deformity Symposium by Harry Schaffelberger, Peter Newton, and Randy Batts. The respected leaders of both courses welcome my proposal. We recently signed a letter of intention with this leader, mutual signature by SRS and the leaders of this course. We have reached a consensus on the realization of this project within the framework of 5-year plan. We have established a task force under SRS just for this purpose. I'm the member of this task force as well. I will make a great effort to make this project real, which I believe it will fill an important gap in the SRS education mission.
So sort of as all great leaders are always looking to the future, I'm sure you're no different. What changes do you see happening in our field or in SRS in the next couple of years?
Yes. And the next year, I'll complete my 30th year in the spine practice. Although this period, 30 years, seems very short for the history of medicine, I've witnessed a significant part of the very important developments in spinal surgery. The pedicle screw, for example, has become a standard implant within this time period. Multimodal neuromonitorizations, advances in imaging technology, EOS, has become one of the main areas of interest in spinal surgery from being an orphan disease. So introduction of PVCR or similar complex techniques in our routine practice, intraoperative advanced imaging and navigation. We can have a long list. All this happened in 30 years and I witnessed them. Spinal surgery probably has been the fastest inheriting field of modern technology. Nowadays, we are talking about artificial intelligence and big data and machine learning in spinal surgery. Needless to say, fusion-free instrumentation has become a hot topic. Just take a quick look at this year's annual meeting schedule. Lots of great papers going to be presented there. Today, we can easily do things that we couldn't imagine 10 years ago. However, we are still trying to solve the problems of spine, which is a biological structure with non-biological methods, which I think is a huge mistake. We can correct spine deformity as we wish, but at the end of the day, we complete our procedures with fusion. We are immobilizing a structure designed or created, whatever you say, to move. But one day, I believe we will get rid of this mistake. My professional life will probably not be enough to see this development, but the future is in non-fusion and biological solutions. Until we uncover the mechanisms that cause the deformity and treat the problem before the deformity develops, what we do will always be incomplete and all wrong. Again, as the future is non-fusion technologies and biological solutions.
We're almost out of time here, so maybe last question quickly what advice do you have for any of the younger members who are trying to get involved in the SRS?
Yeah, thanks for asking this question. I would like to suggest them to work hard. This is not a secret, but hard working may not guarantee any success. Although you work hard, you may not be able to achieve all you want, but it's not possible to get anything without working hard. First of all, I recommend that they work hard. Okay, this is number one. Even if they are not working in an academic environment, I still recommend that they try to be part of a research. It's not necessarily the rocket science, not necessarily the top research, even in the modest level. This is the number two. Networking and being a part of scientific community, scientific world, enrich people. This is number three. It opens new doors to people and expands their horizons. Please let them take this advice seriously. Hardworking, research-oriented thinking, and networking. That's all.
Once again, Dr. Yazici, thanks so much for all your time. This has been a great conversation we had. Congratulations on your presidency, but I think we're running out of time for the day. So I look forward to a great meeting in St. Louis.
Thanks, Jeff, for having me again. Thank you. See you in St. Louis.
And I encourage all listeners to join the next SRS podcast. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
The Scoliosis Research Society is a nonprofit professional organization made up of physicians and allied health personnel. Their primary focus is on providing continuing medical education for healthcare professionals and on funding and supporting research in spinal deformities. Please visit srs.org for further information.